Welcome to Band Deep Dive. This week, we're going to dive into Echo and the Bunnymen.
Well, good evening, folks. Tonight we're going to talk about Echo and the Bunnymen on Band Deep Dive, and Dickie should be joining us here in a minute.
Wink Martindale kicks ass.
Band Deep Dive?
Band Deep Dive.
Band Deep
Echo
Dive.
and the Bunnymen.
Echo and the Bunnymen.
Liverpool.
That's where they started, right?
Yep, circa 1978.
All right. Who else started in Liverpool?
Fuck.
You know, if you were on Jeopardy, they kick your ass off, dude. The Cavern Club or something.
Yeah, Pete Best's band, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He had a band. Yeah,
He was in a band. He was the drummer, right?
I think so.
Fuck. Whatever happened to those guys?
I don't know what they did. They probably just broke up and faded away.
I suppose, right?
Bastards.
I feel bad for Pete Best. You know, he started this cool ass band and they didn't do shit.
Yeah.
All right, so Echo and the Bunnymen.
Okay, Echo and the Bunnymen. Ian McCulloch, he's their singer,
Yeah.
and he had a nickname, Mac the Mouth.
Mac the Mouth. Why was he kind of a bastard?
Yeah, well, yeah, I was telling you at work how him and U2, Bono, however you pronounce that guy's
It's
name.
Bono.
Yeah,
Boner.
Well, yeah, but yeah, they used
Boner
to fight.
from U2.
Yeah, they would fight back in the early '80s. So and Will Sargent.
Okay. Who would win that fight between? Boner from U2.
U2 ended up winning it because they.
Well, they're a
became
better
more
band,
popular.
but physically, who do you think would win that fight?
Oh
Ian
God, I
McCulloch
don't know.
or Boner.
I don't probably Bono.
That's Boner, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. But
Oh, well, I think Bono's.
he's done a lot of good things.
Kind
Though.
of tough guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, anyway.
So Will Sargent's their guitar player.
All right.
That's how the band started. Singer, guitar player.
Right.
Yeah.
The story that I know, and I'm not going to say that anything's correct that comes out of my mouth. You know, I just hear shit. But
Yeah, but I think it's
from what I know, I don't know how Ian McCulloch and Will Sargent met. I don't know if it was a school or something.
They might have been grade school.
I don't know.
I think maybe, or just knew
So
each
they
other
met,
from the hood.
right? I don't know, but they started a band. They didn't have a drummer, so they played to a drum machine, and that drum machine was manufactured by a company called Echo. So
Echo drum machines.
yes,
Yeah.
So they decided to call themselves Echo and the Bunnymen. You know, it's like, oh, we got our drummer, and we're the Bunnymen.
Yeah, and I
our
don't
drummer
think
is
the
Echo.
Bunnymen actually referred to anything.
Oh, yeah, I don't
It
think
was
so.
just,
I don't know if it referred to anything. I really don't know.
I don't think it did because there was a few other names that they were thinking about, and that
Like
escapes me.
what? Do you know?
I know. No, but they weren't as catchy as Echo and the Bunnymen. I do remember that. That's kind of has a mysterious.
It does have
thing.
kind of a
Yeah.
catchy shit.
Yeah,
to
they did a
it,
good
you
job
know?
with that. So anyway, those two got together in the summer of '78, and they
Okay.
started playing gigs at Eric's in Liverpool, which was a big. I guess it was the Cavern Club of its day.
Right.
Because by that time, I don't know, the Cavern Club was closed.
Cavern Club, that's the place where Pete Best's band played, right? All right.
Yeah. So those guys got together and started writing songs, and they're playing. By this point, they knew they needed to get a drummer and a bass player.
I know a drummer joined. I don't know his name.
Les Patterson was the bass player,
Okay.
and Pete DeFreitas, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, was their drummer. He was from Trinidad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that guy's name. I've seen his name, and that's a hard name to pronounce.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce it. It's like, it starts with a D, right?
D
It's like,
for Yentis.
D, and it's got like an apostrophe. in it.
Yeah.
You know,
Very.
if I ever change my name, I'm gonna do something cool like that. I'm gonna put an apostrophe in it and make it something that's like
French.
nobody can fucking pronounce.
So their first single they released was called Pictures on My World.
Pictures on my wall. Never heard of it.
That was in '79.
Okay.
That's he got a lot of comparisons to Jim Morrison in his singing style, which myself I hear a lot of the Doors. I hear a lot of David Bowie in his singing.
You know what?
styles, actually.
When we were at work the other day and we were jamming, and you played a Echo and Bunnymen song that I hadn't heard, and I had heard it, but I hadn't heard it in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
and you made the comment that it kind of sounds like Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, so I don't know if he liked that comparison or not. I don't know if he liked the Doors or
Right.
exactly, but so and then they were with Zoo Records, who ended up getting purchased by another Corova Records, I believe, which was a Warner Brothers subdivision.
All right.
Which kind of I guess was an upgrade because they got like I guess major label money.
All right.
And didn't have to. You know, they already had a
So they went
contract
from Zoo Records to what?
to Corova Records.
All right.
And then,
Well, supposedly that's an upgrade, right?
I guess, and that was the fall of '79, and that's when they added their drummer and actually got rid of the drum machine. So they could have called it Drummer and the Bunnymen at that point, you know? or Peter.
But no,
his name was Pete. They
right, but
Peter
his
and
last name was like so crazy that would have been awesome, like De Laurentiis or whatever his last name. I apologize for the drummer because I think he passed away in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, in '89.
Yeah. So
and then so then they released their other single called Rescue.
Okay, never heard that tune.
I think I might have heard it. So and then that all added up in 1980. The summer of 1980 is when they released their first album, their debut album called Crocodiles, and those two songs were
on that record.
That one ended up going number 17 in the UK charts.
Okay.
Debut album, that's not too bad.
And fuck, I'd rock and roll.
They were way more popular in UK.
Right. Maybe we should go to the UK.
well, fucking Jimi Hendrix had to do it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Right.
He hit it.
Well, the Stray Cats did it too.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sold all their shit and went to England.
Yeah.
England, we're not going to
AC/DC too.
Did they? Well, they were. Where was AC/DC from?
Australia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Bee Gees went to, they left England, but get back to Echo.
Yeah. Fuck, we can go into all kinds of goddamn different fucking bands.
Yep, apparently the Puppet was a big single for him.
Okay.
And Do It Clean was also a big single off of that.
What do you think that means? Do It Clean?
I don't know. I've not heard either one of those songs.
Do It Clean kind of sounds sexual.
It does, yeah. Clickbait. But back then it was put the needle in the groove bait. Yeah. So I don't think CDs were around back then, were they?
You got these symbols. I want to do a symbol thing. Do you want any symbols anymore? Real symbols?
Not real ones, I don't. I even got rid of my cheap ones.
Man. All right, so then what?
So that takes us into the spring of 1981.
81.
Yep.
And we met in 81, didn't we?
It'd probably be close to that, yeah. They released 2 albums that year. That's back when bands fucking did that shit.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Bands should do that fucking now, except for the crap bands put out now. So.
But as we were talking, the one was called "Shine So Hard." They put it out as a live EP.
Okay.
And I think they made a documentary movie out of it. They were just doing that to get video footage. And it ended up being released as an EP, and I don't think that was planned. And then later that year, they released "Heaven Up to Here."
Okay. That was the name of the record.
Yeah, the name of the album. That one had. Getting back to that one had UK top 10 album. It corresponded for their first tour of the United States.
What year is this? 81?
Yeah, this is 81. Spring 81, I think, to be exact.
All right.
And the big single was called A Promise.
Promise. I don't know if I remember.
Then they went, I think they took 82 off from songwriting, and in 83 they released Porcupine. That went to number 2 in the UK, so that was a big one for them.
Okay.
It had the Cutter on it, the Back of Love, Never Stop. Some of those, and then that's when he started gaining the reputation of Mac the Mouth.
because he was an asshole.
Basically, yeah. I've never heard his rants or anything, but
I'd like to see. I'd like to see.
but yeah, I guess he was kind of a hard guy to get along with. I guess
Really?
kind of like you a little bit. Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that all day
Yeah,
long.
especially
I
if
bet
you're
you
trying to,
I bet you
work
me
like
and
that.
Ian McCullough could be
Yeah.
best fucking friends.
Yeah,
You
or
know?
you guys would kill each other.
I'd kill him.
So and then,
I'd win in a fight.
probably, yeah, because he's
Understand.
like a lot older than you now. But he's probably in a wheelchair if he's even alive. I
Well,
don't
if
even
he's
know.
in a wheelchair, I'm not gonna kick his ass. But if he's not in a wheelchair and he
Then
wants
he's
to,
fair game, huh?
Exactly. He wants to run his fucking mouth to me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he probably doesn't run his mouth too much these days. But
You don't know.
I don't. I seriously don't. 1984, though, they released Killing Moon.
Oh, that was
I
pretty
know
good
you know
song.
that song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a pretty good
Yeah,
song.
that went to number 9 in the UK, and that must have been off of the album Ocean Rain, which was released in May of '84,
Okay.
which had been our junior year of
84,
been our junior year.
yeah, it had been our
Yeah.
junior year in high
Yeah,
school.
high school. Ocean Rain, and that was their first album to chart in the United States top 100, and I think Seven Seas was on that album as well.
I don't know that song.
Yeah, that was a number 16 UK hit. Then they came out with a single our senior year in high school in '85.
Lips Like Sugar?
No, that was Bring On the Horse.
Oh, Bring On the Dancing Horses.
Horses. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not a bad song.
Yeah, yeah. That ended up. Yeah, it was just a single only, but I remember that song.
Yeah, I do
Yeah.
too. And here's my thing with Echo and the Bunnymen. I was never like a huge fan. Like Bring On the Dancing Horses, and we haven't got to Lips Like Sugar yet. I don't
No,
think.
that's coming up.
Okay.
That's in fact that's their next album. They ended up taking a year off in '86 and came back with an '87.
So they took a year off in what,
82.
82? They took another fucking year off?
Well, I think there were some tensions going on in that band.
Yeah, because Mac the Muff,
Probably, yeah.
he's like pissing everybody
Right.
out in the fucking band.
Yeah,
You know?
and then you throw in some major label agents.
Do I piss you
and
off in
shit.
our band?
No.
I try to.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just saying.
yeah, there's no reason for that anymore.
You can start calling me Mac the Muff if you want. I'm just saying.
Well,
No.
I'm a latecomer to Echo and the Bunnymen, honestly. You know, Marty introduced it to me back in the day, and I didn't really care for it. But fast forward 30 years, I'm listening to it going, holy shit.
Right.
Why did
And,
I miss out on this?
you miss out on a lot of stuff, depending on what you're into musically at the time, and when you're a kid, you got other shit going on. You're probably playing sports and this and that and the other thing.
bands to listen to.
Right,
Yeah.
you listen to the Sex Pistols and
They were a little out of that range, I guess,
right,
at that point in my life, when you're narrow-minded musically. You know?
right. But they were still. I think they were a good band. I don't know a whole lot about them. One thing I do know, their first records that you talked about, like Crocodile and Porcupine or something.
Yeah, Porcupine was in there in '83.
Like their first 5 records, I do know this, and I hope I'm getting it right, but their first 5 records, the record covers were done like with the band standing in like natural environment.
Yeah,
Like they did one
colorized too, I believe.
like one in front of a waterfall.
Yeah, and there's one with a tree or something.
Yeah, and they're in a forest, and the
Yeah.
next one is, by a volcano. I might be wrong on that, but you know what I mean. They did like nature shit. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, kind of. They had the whole little vision together.
Right. And I think they did that on the record covers for the first 5 records or something. But
Yeah, may have.
I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and then in '87
We
they
should
came
do
back with it had Lips Like Sugar, which actually was not their biggest hit. To me,
What
it's
was
their
their biggest
song.
hit?
I think it's
Bring
called.
On the Dancing Horses.
Well, actually, it's Enlighten Me from 1990.
Enlighten Me.
Yep,
I never heard
that
it.
rated number 8 in the U.S.
Really?
I've never heard it either.
I don't think I've heard it.
And
But that's like a lot of songs. Like maybe if I heard it, I know it.
probably,
I don't know.
yeah,
That's
right. But yeah, Lips Like Sugar, which I thought was their biggest song, really wasn't their biggest song.
Okay. All
So,
right.
and that was '87, and then '88 they did the Doors cover. People Are Strange.
People Are Strange, and that was actually a good cover. And we were talking about this because my brother Ryan, rest in peace, my bro. He loved that song, and I'm not talking the Doors version. He loved because it was in a movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Lost Boys. Yep.
About vampires and shit.
Was that what it was about?
Yeah,
I don't think I ever saw it.
and like Kiefer Sutherland was in it, and
okay, yeah.
Fucking who was the kid from Stand By Me? Teddy from Stand By Me. I don't know, but anyway, he was in it, and my brother loved that fucking movie, and he loved that song. I was in college, and I was, I once in a while I'd go over to my parents' house, and my brother was still living there, and I'd hear him jamming that song, and I actually thought that was a better version than the Doors version.
Yeah. The Cure did a cover of a Doors, "Hello, I Love You."
My favorite story about Echo and the Bunnymen, I was in college, we went through that, I was a freshman, and I go to the cafeteria to get lunch, and there was this girl, and she wasn't the most, and I hope she's not watching this, but I won't mention names. In fact, I don't even know her.
Never met her, huh?
No, I don't know her name. She would sit across from me sometimes at the table, She wasn't the most attractive woman. She had the hugest tits. And she always wore an Echo and the Bunnymen t-shirt. So I think, I knew who Echo and the Bunnymen were, but then I'm sitting in the cafeteria, sitting across from Echo and the Bunnymen out the fucking ear. It's like, holy fuck. And I don't know her name. And I never talked to her, and that's one of my favorite stories about Echo and the Bunnymen. For me, when it comes to Echo and the Bunnymen, big tits,
big knockers, huh?
Big knockers.
Was she just chubby?
A little bit chubby, but not too bad.
Yeah.
She just had big fucking knockers.
Yeah.
She had knockers like double fucking D's,
Yeah. Bet you have some fun with them, huh?
But I could have.
Thank you for watching this episode of Band Deep Dive. Be sure to join us next time.